I know I haven't really updated with you guys about Leon's health and his situation. Look at you, look so pretty. When there is some truth to it, I'm not going to defend it. I'm just going to be honest and say, you're right. I don't regret any of it. I don't. I really don't regret anything that I've been through the past 3 years. I feel like everything happened the way it was supposed to. Bye. Say hi. Give me that. Thank you.
Hi. Hi.
Say hi, friends.
Hi, friends. Hi. What's up?
Okay.
Hi. Hi. Hi.
Good morning. I am.
Hi. Hi.
Good morning. Hi, friends. I think that's gonna be like our new intro kind of a thing. You're gonna say hi, friends, right? Right, Araya? I guess she don't care. It is Tuesday, April 2nd, I think. I know I haven't really updated with you guys about Leon's health and his situation. I've just been kind of not really saying much about it because he kind of doesn't really want a whole lot of information out until he knows for sure what's going on. Yeah, I haven't really talked much about it because he just wanted to make sure that things were going to go as planned. He had his primary doctor for visit, and then he got a referral to go to pain management. And right now, pain management, they have him on a couple of medication. I know one is for neuropathy, I think it's called. I think that's what it's called. I don't know. And then the other one is for the pain in his back, like his lower back and his hip, because of the angle of his curve is pinching his nerves. And then they also have him on morphine, but I think they're going to change that. I think they're going to change the morphine because I think they were talking about trying like the cortisone shots, which I think he would prefer, but I think they just gave him the morphine for the time being. The doctor wouldn't clear him to work until he's seen the pain management specialist, and the pain management specialist basically said that he can work because of how his body is reacting to the medication. He's not in as much pain, but to not like overdo it or anything like that. Like if he takes his medication like he's supposed to, he has at least a couple of hours pain-free. Now if he overexerts himself, by the end of the night he's in severe pain. But I think Leon doesn't really care about being in pain at the end of the day, because then he could just relax and sit down. I think it's just like he can't. So, yeah, I don't think he cares about the pain being severe or like the pain like building up over time. But when it's constant all throughout the day, I think it's harder for him because he can't function that way. So, yeah, he's heading out the door now to go do that program. I think it's a program or some type of trial, whatever. And then he also has an interview after the fact, and then from there he has to go to pain in my butt. Yeah, he has a meeting with somebody that potentially might have a couple of jobs. His last job reached out to him and said that they would like for him to come back, but I don't think Leon would like to do the job, but he don't want to work for that company because it was just it was a headache with him working with them for 5 years. He never got paid like PTO, he never got sick time off, never received any kind of health care. When work was slow, he had to rely on unemployment, and that was nothing. I don't think he had the problem doing that kind of job. It's just, I don't think he wants to work for that company, which I don't blame him, because that company sucked. I just say they were, in my opinion, they were racist and discriminative. So, that was just my opinion. I personally want Leon to cut his hair, but he doesn't want me. He doesn't want to cut his hair. I want him to cut his hair so bad. I think he looks so handsome with his haircut. Insert picture. Without his hair, I think he just looks so much better, and the hair is just a turn off. Personally, to me, I think he makes him look like a bum. That's just me. That's just my opinion. What?
Mama, I want to listen.
You want some breakfast now?
Mm,
You want some cereal?
my sock.
Why you take your socks off?
This is good.
Can I get a kiss?
Mama, because
Can I get a kiss? Thank you.
good girl. Good girl.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mom.
Thank you, Raya.
And Fifi, Mom. Come, Fifi, Mom.
I love you.
Hello.
I love you.
Cosa.
Why are you taking your socks off?
My sock. Cosa.
Mm. She's a goof. I told y'all she's crazy. Mm-hmm. She's a goof. She's a goof. Ow, you pulling my hair.
Sorry, Mom.
It's okay, boo boo. I love you.
Mama.
Alright, I'm gonna get this day started.
Mama, stop it.
I almost thought she was gonna smack me in the face again. Okay, baby, let's go.
I have seen that face more than a million times, like a million times. I have seen that, baby. I can treat you right and you can prove me wrong. Turn around, be gone. Turn around now, baby. You think you're special like the others, something to discover. Think you're little fun, but I have seen that face more than a million times.
I'm done. You wanna see in the mirror? Look. Look at you, you look so pretty. Yeah, you look so pretty.
I want your dreams come true. If that is what I want to do with you. I'm only here for the little fun. Here for my dreams are made of. I'm only here for the little fun. Oh, yeah, I can be the one. If that is
It's party day.
Change my shirt, at least.
A party.
I'm gonna make her some breakfast. You some breakfast? Yes. Let's take breakfast. say hi, friends.
Hi, friends.
Many hours later.
Hey guys, so it's hours later. I'm tired and I've been trying to make this video or this clip for like the longest, and it's just not coming out the way I want it to come out. And what I'm about to say is it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad way. I don't know how to explain it. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, you don't have to say nothing, you know, you don't have to explain yourself. But to be honest with you guys, I've made my channel strictly so that I can grow. And what I mean by grow is like personal development, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, because I have a lot of healing that I have to deal with. A couple months ago, somebody made a video about me, and a couple months ago, when we were staying in a hotel and all that, people were making comments, and to some people they were like, that was ignorant, or there's a certain way to say it. And it's true, you know, there's certain ways that you can say it. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. But the other day I was telling Leon, like, sometimes there's no nice way to say things, you know, like, because there's examples where I'll say things to him and he'll take it the wrong way. And no matter how I would have said it, it still would have came off in a negative way towards him, because that's his perception of it. And, you know, some of the things that people were saying, you know, of course people were talking about my living situation, and that's not what this is about. But people were talking about, like, my parenting and, you know, how I was raising the kids and how I was talking to the kids. And there's no sugarcoating it. Some people were right, you know, and it's not like a shameful thing to deal with, because, you know, I'm just gonna be honest, I didn't know better. I grew up in a certain way. I grew up around certain people a certain way, and that's just how I lived my life. And I just thought, well, if they lived that way, and prior to that, that's how they lived, and before that, and that's how they lived, it's normal. So, and I'm not talking about like living in a hotel or living in a house or anything like that. I'm talking about like how I was raising my kids, like in a sense to where I was sheltering them, and how I would talk to my kids, and like certain aspects of like how I was, like, I don't know how to explain it, like buying them stuff or whatever. And I have, like, there's not really much of an excuse, I guess you can say, now that I'm able to look back on it and reflect on it and see that, you know, that there were some things about myself or some things about Leon that could have been changed, or we could have done differently with when it comes to the kids. Now I know some people are going to be like, well, you were in a shelter. I mean, in a shelter, you were in a hotel. And I'm like, it doesn't matter if I was in a hotel or if I was in a house. The dynamics of how I was parenting my kids was still been insane. It's just plain blank how it is. It doesn't matter of the environment that I was living in. It's just, I mean, I'm just being honest with you guys. Like, it makes no difference of how that would have played out. I've talked to my kids about it. I explain myself to my kids all the time. I apologize to my kids all the time. It's not something that is anything new to me. I have heart to heart with my kids all the time. We have crying sessions all the time with my kids. And that was even prior to us living in a hotel. So it's like, as I'm learning and adjusting and rebuilding myself, I'm relaying that to my kids so that they see that I'm human too. I make mistakes. And, you know, my thought process back then was survival mode. I was more focused on how I can survive and how I can get through the next day. It wasn't so much about how I can do this to get to the next level. In my mind, that's not how I was thinking, because all my options at the moment were like slimming down. So they get it. The kids understand where I was coming from and why I was the way I was, or why I am the way I am now. In yesterday's vlog, Akina was like, Daddy's still in the 90s. She thinks I'm not. Like, she thinks I'm more cooler and like I'm more up to date with the times, but I feel like I'm more of an old soul. She thinks because of what I listen to and what I watch, it means I'm more into the 21st century, and that's not the case. I still believe in like, better bring your butt home when the street lights come on, but the way the street lights are around here, it's weird. But they have to do chores and they don't get paid for chores. Like, there's some aspects of me that I've carried on from my aunt and uncle who raised me onto my kids, and I realized how that affected my kids when we were in a hotel. And that's when I came out and explained my child abuse when I was a kid, and it also made me reflect on a lot of things. And it's just one thing to hear it from somebody else than to hear it from family members, or to hear it from, or for you to even experience it and have like that aha moment when that light bulb goes bing, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's different. And then it's even different when you're in the situation and you're just basically, people are just like telling you one thing and you're just like, you don't understand, you don't get it, because everyone's different. Everybody's living in a different aspect, everybody's living in a different lifestyle, and everybody has a different path on where they're going in life. Now, if this was 7 months ago or 8 months ago or whatever, how long ago it was, I would have never told you that I would have came back to Pennsylvania. It would have never been an option ever in my life. I would have been determined to stick it out with what we had and what we were trying to accomplish then. The only reason why I didn't really push and pursue the goals that I had and the things that I wanted and what I'm trying to accomplish with what I know was because of that mom guilt. I've talked about this before, and I think it's just that guilt of thinking that you have to do and you have to be a certain way in order to be validated or accepted, if that makes sense. So for me in that moment, I just felt like I couldn't really push for the fullest potential of what I was reaching for in order for us to get out of that situation, was because of the fact that like we were in a hotel. So like I felt guilty for leaving the kids, even just Akina and Andrea, just so that I can go do business meetings. I felt guilty for spending a couple dollars just to go invest in myself. And people even pointed that out. They're like, oh, she got a whole bunch of laptops and cameras and all this stuff, but her kids are living in a hotel. And it's like, sometimes you have to sacrifice some things in order to get to the next level. But like, I kind of understand where some people's mindset was, so it doesn't really bother me how people were thinking. In my mind, I was thinking like, well, if I invest in this, or if I have that, I would be able to get to the next level, or if I do this or I do that, I'll be able to get to the next level. And I never got to that point. And I think it was because of my relationship, my marriage. And I'm just being honest with you guys about this because it's difficult for me to talk about, because I don't really talk about my relationship or my marriage. Some of the things that I wanted to accomplish or pursue was because I was afraid to even mention it or even suggest it to Leon, because I was afraid that he was going to be like, no, you need to do this, you need to go do that, you need to get this, you need to get that. Because in his mind, he's always thinking about like Social Security, retirement, and I don't believe in that. I don't believe that you should work for 40 years to live on retirement. I feel like you should work your ass off and put money into an IRA or a 401k account on your own. That's just my thought process. But sometimes I feel like because he's older than me, that he feels like he thinks he knows everything, or that he's already been there, done that, but there's a huge difference when it comes to me and him. Like, Leon didn't get his own place and his own apartment and all that until me and him got together. I had my own place and my own apartment when I was 15. So it's like a huge gap of differences of how both of our lives transpired. But yeah, like, I kind of want to do more of these kind of like sit down videos and talk to you guys about a lot of my aha moments or like my revelations of what I... You can come down. Leon's mom's like, I don't want to interrupt. That's fine. I want to do more because that's how I originally started my channel, was because of the law of attraction and doing the 100-day challenge. I was just telling him, like, she doesn't like it. I can tell you guys, like, when people say things negative or ignorant about me or my parenting or like our living situation or whatever, she gets pissed off. You?
What?
You get upset, and then
About what?
what people be saying in the comments.
Oh,
I laugh, and she's like, "You're better than me," because I would respond. I laugh. The reason why I laugh and I don't get upset about it is because I feel like people see things from a different lens, and people grew up in a different way, people lived a different way, so their idea or their beliefs are going to be different than mine and how they feel and what they think. So it doesn't really bother me that people say things, and in a way it kind of helps me because it makes me, you know, think back and then actually reflect on what people are saying, because if there's something that I can improve on, I'm going to improve on it, regardless if it's to benefit myself, my family, or my life in general. It's not to benefit nobody else.
that's good. Always keep a positive attitude.
Yeah.
Always have a positive.
Yeah, so it's not...
Don't be like me with no.
Yeah, like, it wouldn't be like, it's not a bad thing for people to say bad, like, negative things. Like, there's some things that I'm just like, no, you're not gonna be saying that. Like, my kids is not gonna be going on the channel to read that. Like, delete. But in most cases, I read it and I delete it, and if I do delete it, it's because of the fact that my kids are watching the channel, and I'm trying to change my channel from where it was to where I want it to be. I don't want it to be filled with a whole bunch of negativity. Like, that's just not where I'm trying to go with my life. And the direction where I'm going with my life is completely opposite of what's being posted in the comments. And, you know, people can say whatever they want to say. They can have an opinion about whatever they have an opinion about, but it's not going to be on my channel. I'm sorry. I'm just not going to do that. A bigger YouTuber, she actually said something to me about it, and she's like, delete that mess. You know, it's one thing to have constructive criticism and for somebody to tell you what or suggest something different to you, but it's another when people are literally like calling you out your name and bashing you and degrading you and talking about your kids like that. Like, don't allow that mess on your channel, because that's also, like, my channel is like my personal space. It's my sacred space. But right now they're all at different stages in their life, and what used to work is not working. And I'm trying to get Leon to understand. He's slowly getting around to it. Me and his mom tell him all the time he needs to stop yelling. I get tired of the yelling. I'm just being honest. But yeah, I just wanted to come on here and talk about it, and not just for you guys or for anybody else that comes on my channel and is like, says whatever they say. This is for me. It's for me to have a journal and to talk it out and to have these aha moments or these reflective video journals for myself, so that I'm able to let it go and move on to the next thing that I need to improve on. I don't think parenting is something that we can all, like, there's not an end game to parenting. It's like never ending. And I'm learning that from you guys, because a lot of people that are older and they have kids that are already out of the house and they either message me or they email me and they're talking to me about certain things, and then, you know, it's a never ending thing. So I'm not going to stress myself for the mistakes that I made in the past, for the person that I was then. You know, I did with what I could, with what I had. And I said the same thing about my mom and my aunt and uncles, because they didn't know how to do this parenting shit either, you know, and they did what they could with what they had at the time. And mind you, I keep telling y'all, I was bad as fuck. So I can't fault them for how my life is now. I can't blame them. I can't put that blame on them. It's not their fault. I mean, I'm grown. I'm 31 years old. So for me to continue to blame other people for where I am in my life, it's childish. So it's no point of putting that blame on them. But what I can do now for where I am now in my life, I can cut those soul ties. And if you know what soul ties are, give this video a thumbs up. I can cut those soul ties. I can break the cycle, and I can change how what I have been doing, how I am as a person and as a mother, as a daughter, as a wife. I can change those things to better myself. And there's no like ill feelings about what other people have said. It's no ill feelings about what people think about my family, because they don't live in my house. So for me to be upset about what they think, it's pointless, to be honest. And for me to be defensive about it, I feel like if I'm going to be defensive about it, it means what they're saying, I feel like, is really true. And there's no truth to it, so there's no point of defending it. And when there is some truth to it, I'm not going to defend it. I'm just going to be honest and say, you're right. I was a shitty parent at some point in time. And it sucks to say that, but I've worked it out with my kids. I've talked it out with them. We've made agreements, I guess you can say, with the kids. Well, I've made agreements with the kids. Leon's probably had numerous conversations with the kids over the past couple of months, which he usually does when he takes them out. And so has Leon's mom. She's talking to them and everything about, like, everything that me and Leon's been saying to them for the past 13 years has basically but what Leon's mom has been iterating to them. Like, she's telling them, and then she's like, what in the world? And I'm like, I already said this to them. Unless I'm going to be, like, throwing whips and chains and stuff at them, it's just how kids are. And I'm starting to accept it and embrace it. That's what it's called. Oh, and it's funny that I said that, because there's another YouTuber on here, and her channel is Life Forever Changed, and she has an Instagram channel, and it's called Embrace Motherhood. And that kind of like inspired me to like embrace it. Just embrace the fact that my 10 and 8-year-old hate taking showers. My 13-year-old, soon to be 13-year-old, is very sassy with the mouth and thinks she grown. My 12-year-old, Andrea, we all know she's a little special. She's a little something something. And so like I'm just like embracing the whole idea of this picture that is scribbled everywhere. And like, if you think about Araya drawing, that's how I feel about my parenting and the things that I've done in the past. And you know, some things I made mistakes in, and I've learned from those mistakes. I've experienced so much things in the past 3 years, or 3 years, and I don't regret any of it. I don't. I really don't regret anything that I've been through the past 3 years. I feel like everything happened the way it was supposed to. I feel like I was supposed to go through that experience because it was necessary for me to learn whatever lesson that I was supposed to learn. And now I'm in the situation that I'm in because I've learned it. I feel like we all are supposed to learn something when it's a bad situation. And everything that I've experienced the past 8 months was supposed to be for me to learn something. And even though it took so many people in the comments to say something that to say something that was very harsh and disrespectful and demeaning and degrading, in a way it kind of helped me. So thank you. It helped. And that's when I say, like, you know, people can say whatever they want because they fail to realize that you're helping me more than you're hurting me. And I appreciate the people that do come out and say whatever they want to say, or it just might not show up on the channel. I'm sorry, because like I said, I'm trying to move my channel into a different direction, and it's how you say things, how you word things, you know. And yeah, so that's pretty much all I got. So I hope you guys enjoy this vlog, even though it was more so of a morning routine slash chat with me. But I had to get that off my chest. Like, I've been thinking about it for so long. I've been thinking about it for a while, and I was like going back and forth on whether or not if I should make this video or not, or even talk about it. But I feel like I feel so much better now that I've actually talked about it, and I'm gonna start doing more like revelational videos. If you guys enjoy these kind of like confessionals, give this video a thumbs up as well, and subscribe, because it's gonna be a lot more. And I feel like I'm gonna bring back the self-motivational and the personal development aspect of things, because I need it. It's kind of therapy for me. So, and if I fuck up, I fuck up, but at least I'll learn from those fuck ups, and you guys will get to see me own those fuck ups. That's a lot of fuck ups. So yeah, I appreciate everybody that's been with me through all this chaotic, messy, dramatic, climatic life. And we're almost at 5K subscribers, and it's crazy to think that I'm almost there, and that the image or the idea of where I wanted my channel to be is nowhere near I want it to be at. I don't consider YouTube going to be the main source of information that I'm going to give out. Like, I don't know. It's not going to be the only place. But as soon as I hit 5K, most likely, which will be by the end of the month, I will be doing a giveaway. And you guys spoke. You guys want a cash giveaway, and I got you. So subscribe if you haven't. Hit that notification bell so that you guys are notified every time I upload, and I'll see you on the next video. Good night.
I am a woman, not here to please you. It's time to move on, cause my time is now. I am a woman, play by my own rules. I got my due